And so that's why you have to practice dying now. You have to practice dying. I know that sounds strange. You have to practice menopause before you get to menopause. You have to practice dying before you get to die. I wasn't asleep. I was highly aware. And now you can get to some of these states using mushrooms and other kind of medicinal things. You can. But I highly recommend people not be afraid of hypnosis.
I wanted to touch on, because we got into it, but we strayed away from it when you were going to discuss yoga and healing of the body. I wanted to touch on that a little bit.
So I think one of the things that ancient people did is try to not have too many buckets of problems, right? A problem is either digestion, the food that goes in and the poop that comes out, and then the in between, digestion.
It's like gut health.
Digestion.
Another problem would be lungs. And in yoga, they don't really believe like cardio. They don't really believe in cardio. They believe that the heart needs to be elevated mildly, purposefully. So therefore the sun salutes and some of the movements, but not high intensity intervals. So this is a little bit different than Western. Yes, you need to elevate it, but not. They didn't really think of the heart the way we do in the West. You have breathing and what we call pranayama. And a lot of people moving away from the term pranayama, but I would just remind people that the word prana means energy, and these people recognize that breathing is our source. Breathing is our life source. If a person's not breathing, they're dead. Life force is in the breath, somewhere in the breathing. You can go several days without eating. Right. While it's true we need to eat, it is not life force. Breathing. Great. So that you have the menu of what to work on. Just like cooking, right? We're talking about cooking. Cooking, you need the menus, you need the cookbooks. Not just how do I do it? You need the whole cookbooks for the whole idea of it. So cooking. So pranayama. So then also some of the things in healing, again, it's meditation. So we think of meditation as sitting quietly. Also what I'm going to call directed meditation and or visualization and or positive reinforcement. Okay. So positive reinforcement goes something like this, like repeating, my body is strong. I make my body strong every day. My liver. Okay. So then ideally you go into all of the areas. My eyes are strong. My liver is strong, so forth and so on. Now people say, well, that wouldn't work. That doesn't work. And I say, you know what? Ask your liver as if your liver was another person. And what you're saying is that your liver can't hear you. And if your liver was another person, you're just like, oh, whatever. You
like, whatever.
I love you. Do I have to say I love you? I love you. No, see, so the early yogi people would say, how is it going to work if you don't even know the constituent parts of yourself? If you don't even speak to the constituent parts, bones, liver, kidney. I ask students all the time, where are your kidneys? Where's your liver? Is your heart more to the left or to the right? How many ribs do you have? How do your eyes work? And people don't know. People don't know how their own body works. Yogis would approach healing. Dear ladies, the first thing that they would say is, yes, get an anatomy book, just an anatomy book. Get an anatomy chart and put it up on your mirror in your bathroom and stand there before you jump in the shower. And we need more Black lady anatomy drawings with a Black woman, not some white man. Right. We can look at something, ask these areas to be healthy, be aware. Now then we have to look at our own pee, and we have to look at our own poop. We have to be on a schedule. Our eating on a schedule, our pooping should be on a schedule, our sleep should be on a schedule. So again, what early people would look like, well, if things aren't on a schedule, I can't even evaluate your health. The first thing an early yogi is going to do is put everything on a schedule. And then they're going to look at how you do on that schedule. If food goes in and the poop doesn't come out, then something's blocking.
Absolutely.
And so forth and so on.
Yep.
It's not too mystical. Now then also we have something in yoga called Ayurveda.
Yes.
And yeah, see.
Okay.
We spoke on this.
Yeah.
Yep. We mentioned it in one of the past episodes.
Yep.
It's a little anecdotal. However, I would recommend people try it before they get ill. This is the main problem. People want to go back into antiquity after they're ill. You can't wait until you're hungry to know how to make a meal. Okay, my God, I'm hungry now. What's this?
And if you're hungry, don't go grocery shopping, because your grocery shopping list is what?
Right. To answer your questions, that's how they would approach it. Ayurveda, things on a schedule, sleep habit, breathing, attention. So one of the reasons why they would give you a repeated mantra, like what Tina Turner used to do, is that's attention. And if you ever hear the recordings of her doing it, 45 minutes, you can't do it if you don't have breath, and you can't do it if you can't pay attention. If you can't keep your attention focused. It doesn't have to be that mantra. You can say, I want peanut butter and jelly. I want peanut butter and jelly. I want
right.
butter and jelly. I want peanut butter and jelly on. If you're trying to eat better, I will eat broccoli. I will eat broccoli. I will eat broccoli. I will for 45 minutes. You're going to go to the store. You're going to get the broccoli. You're going to eat it
Absolutely.
because you put your mind on it for 45 minutes repeating. That is how
I
early
love
people,
this.
early yogis would do it.
I went through a health scare and we talked about it, and it was with my liver, that organ. And everything you just said, I had to do. I had to forget everything I was taught or was told to do and not eat as much. I started intermittent fasting. So I didn't eat until 1 o'clock. So I gave my body time to rest. I
Rest.
even did affirmations. So I would talk to my body. I would tell it, talking to it. And then I did yoga poses. So I looked up yoga poses that could
For
help
the
my
liver.
organs. Yeah, to relieve
It
pain.
did have a lot
to
of twisting, quite a bit of twisting.
Yes, I did that because they scared the hell out of me trying to give me medicine, pills. And they told me there was nothing that they could do. There was nothing that I could do and just take this pill. And I was like, that's crazy to me. So I began to like look at things and try to research, like you're saying, research, look and see what you can find. And so, yes, I started eating less. Then I learned about grounding, earthing, just walking out on the grass and just absorbing nature through my body. And then sunbathing early in the day and letting vitamin D touch me and
Now
just
you know you
focusing and quieting
now
down.
you know you're supposed to let that. I know this sounds weird. You're supposed to let that sunlight get in your vajayjay.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
You're supposed to turn your booty. You're supposed to turn your booty up to it.
Are you for really? Okay. Okay, I did not know that. I didn't know that. No,
Yeah.
everything she was saying, you just confirmed everything. And then, like I said, when I did all this, they gave me, I went through an MRI. And when they looked at it again, they said it was unremarkable. And I thought that was bad, but that was actually a good thing for your liver to be unremarkable. That means it's in a good condition now. Because I had a fatty liver. So, and a heptic liver. Yeah. So all of that, what you were saying, yeah, I did it and it actually worked. So I'm like, it just confirms a lot that you're saying what you're saying. Because I was like, maybe it was just a hokum. Maybe it just happenstance that all that happened. But
I think it comes out hokey.
Yeah.
Because the best thing for us to do, and this podcast is helping, is for us all to continue to learn and read the books. And I wouldn't think about anything as being hokey. I would explore and learn and read about. I've done hypnosis. For a long time, I thought hypnosis was hokey. And that my hypnosis teacher became my meditation. He was a Buddhist, Zen Buddhist. And I didn't know that when I did hypnosis. And then finally, one day we combined the hypnosis and the meditation. Okay.
Mind blown?
Yeah, because we did the hypnosis and then we transitioned from sitting comfortably to just sitting on the meditation cushion. No words, no words. And you don't have to fold up your legs, but we did. And then like 2 hours later, where was I? And I wasn't asleep either. I wasn't asleep. I was highly aware. And now you can get to some of these states using mushrooms and, other kind of medicinal things. You can.
Right.
But I highly recommend people not be afraid of hypnosis. Should you research the person you're going to? Should you feel confident? There should be a lot of discussion. Most hypnotists will do a meeting with you before, so you're comfortable where you are, and then we'll start to put it in. So it shouldn't be like, yeah, come on in. No, it shouldn't be like that. If you're doing a mantra, I will eat broccoli, I will eat broccoli, that is self-hypnosis. That is positive reinforcement.
It is. I mean, the way you break it down, it is.
It is absolutely hypnosis. You have to self-administer. So congratulations that you cured yourself.
Yeah. It was a journey. Definite journey. But I feel it helped open my eyes a lot to what we do here in the Western world and what has always been in existence, that you don't need all of that. You just need to center yourself and just listen. Just listen to yourself. And you would have told, if you would have told me that 20 years ago, I'm like, give me my Tylenol, give me my, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it took something that detrimental. Like you said, it shouldn't have to be, you get sick to look for these things, but it just happened to be that I got sick and I looked for these things.
That's how my journey started, false positive breast cancer on a mammogram.
False positive.
Yeah, false positive. And as I tell people that, even with that, I know, again, modern medicine has happened and things aren't the way they used to be. But when you get that talk or that possibility of cancer being in your life, I'm going to be honest. The first thing I thought about was I'm going to fucking die. I didn't care what anybody said. That was the first thing that came through my head. I go, God damn it, I'm going to die. And knowing what I know now, that's not the case. But you're human.
first thing, and ancient people would have said, of course you're going to die. You see, this is the problem with
Exactly.
we're talking
Right.
about,
Exactly.
we're talking about the people and the aged people, the old folks home and all this stuff. We are also now at a problem where for some strange reason, the person is 95 years old with dementia and has no life. They have no life, but they're alive.
Right.
They have
Right.
no life,
Yeah.
they're alive. And somehow it is a value. It is a value to the insurance companies. Living, but not alive.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a very modern, messed up situation we have. Well, no one wants to die. No. And so they've got us. They've got us like drug dealers have us. You want to live.
Right.
They're like, you want to live. Come into this modern medical.
Come
Now, the ancient people
right.
would not have said that. Ancient people would have said, of course you're dying. The question is, how do you want to die?
Yep.
How do you want to die? How do you want to die?
Absolutely.
Yes. And the people would say, I want to die peacefully. And so then
Yeah.
they would say, you need to practice dying peacefully now. And that is meditation. Meditation is a depth of peacefulness that they're recommending that you acquire before you die, before you start dying, because you are going to die. And
Yeah.
when you acquire that depth of peacefulness way before, and to them, what they consider is you want death to be really peaceful. You don't want to be grasping for life because it won't be. It's like grasping for a rope that's not tied onto anything. It won't be coming. So what they would say is that when you meditate, you become aware of something potentially transitional.
Wow.
And so instead of grabbing for this rope in meditation, you understand that there's something potentially transitional. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to grasp for it. You have to lean into it like a wave and follow it and let it carry you. No one wants to hear all that bullshit when you get a diagnosis. And no. And that
Right.
is only because people who meditate, when they get a prognosis, they're like, thank you for that prognosis. And they go back and continue meditating and they take the medicine. I had a client once, she did yoga classes and she did all the yoga and all the meditation and everything. And she was engaged to be married and she got cancer. I can't remember if it was a lung or I can't remember what kind of cancer, breast cancer. Anyway, she knew my yoga classes, so she disappeared for a couple of years. Then she came back and she was like, I was gone because I had cancer and had to go through all my treatments. I'm like, okay. And she said, now I have one more doctor's appointment. I'm cancer free. I'm like, congratulations. She said, but I can't get that out of my mind. And actually, I'm going to come into a phase where I'm not going to have any more appointments. You have to go. And then
Right.
and then they say, oh, see ya, bye.
Right.
And she was told that she wanted to get married to her husband. She was told she wasn't going to have children. She could do chemotherapy, yada, yada. Might not be able to have children. And so she wanted to go into deep meditation work, which we did for about 6 months. And then she got married and then she left the gym and she moved. So she got married. Got 2 children now.
Oh, wow.
She got 2 kids, and I see her. I train her online like this, and I see
Mhm.
these grown people walking around behind her. And I'm like, who's? She's like, yeah, those are my kids that
That they
was
told me I
supposed to
couldn't
not be able
have.
to
Wow.
So I know, right? And so that's why you have to practice dying now. You have to practice dying. I know that sounds strange. You have to practice menopause before you get to menopause. You have to practice dying before you get to die. You have to practice losing your balance. You have to dementia. When my dad got here, he doesn't have dementia and things like that, but I made him start writing in a book. He actually has a light memory problems. And when he gets upset about something, then he can't remember. So he has to write things in a book every morning. And when he has a question, I'm like, well, you wrote that in the book. Go back in the book. So I'm trying to prepare him to have a method for remembering things. Just write it down now, and then you go back in the book. And he's much healthier living with me than he was on his own. Vitamins. You ladies probably take vitamins, but my father is of an age of like vitamins.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes. My grandmother said, if you ate the food you're supposed to, there's no reason for no damn vitamins. That was her
Now
thing.
he's got
Right.
the B12, the D, the E.
Yep.
He's got the niacin is good for his heart. Potassium, magnesium. He's got like 10 different things.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad that it's working for your dad.
Talk about that mind and body. So I have another client. So in yoga, you have awareness and observation. Scientists have to be aware and they have to observe. So one of the first things I gave him was observing himself. So observing yourself is the mind. So when your mom is about, she's not listening to you, but I would say she's probably not listening to herself. See, this is where I go in with people, right? So if you listen to yourself, you want to live. See, I'm telling you, if you listen to yourself, you want to be healthy. You want to live. You want fun. You want laughter. You want, right? If you really deeply listen to yourself, you want love and friendship and connection, right? So if you start listening to that voice, it should get you out of the room. If you were to look at the problem, the mind should take your feet up and out of that room and go to Pokino. Yep. So when we talk about mind-body connection, it's not woo-woo. It's not woo-woo like. Yeah.
True.
So, and for everything that I know, my brother passed away the first year of COVID. He was obese and had a lot of medical issues. Now, he was never going to live with me. We have a family history of hypertension. So if I look at my family, my father has high hypertension. Not now, though, because he lives with me now and because of the regimen that I've given him. So if I go to the doctor, they're probably going to see that I have hypertension. When I do go, they're like, oh, you're fit. And they're a little surprised that I have hypertension. But see, that's in my family history. So what I have to do is I have to work on that, because once you're not using the human brain is so smart. The human brain is so smart. However, we all went to high school and then we went to college and we got a job. And when we got the job, we were like, this is the last thing I'm going to learn is this damn job. Whatever this job, this is the last thing that I'm going to learn. And if my wife or my husband, even if my husband comes to me and says, you need to learn how the car engine works, I'm going to go, nope, I do not need to learn how the car engine works. I'm a grown person with money and somebody else going to fix my car. After a certain age, for whatever reason, we decide we don't need to learn anything anymore. I don't need to learn medicine. No, we have doctors for that. I don't need to learn. This is sad because the human brain is the biggest computer on this planet. And we just simply get to an age and just go, nah.
I say that all the time, that the brain is the first supercomputer ever created. Yes, it is.
And we just go, nah.
I remember when calculators were coming out, and my grandmother, who's deceased, but she was a school teacher, and she was still adding. I'm like, Grandma, even on those little peachy folders, and they had the little square with the little multiplication. I go, she's nope. She still wrote out the check because she said, again, you're mine. You, what is it? Use it or lose it?
Use it or lose it.
Yep.
And that's what she would do. Mind and body, yoga, mind and body. Use
it is so true. But my grandmother said that I have to keep moving. And sure enough, she's 104. When she fell and hurt her hip, she wasn't able to move anymore. That's when she stopped walking. But she's still 104. Yep, she's still here, 104. But that mobility, it broke her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. But a lot of people break the hip and go to the hospital 6 months later, they're gone. Yes. That she is still with us is phenomenal. Yes. And that was her attitude when she was young. Got to keep moving, got to keep moving. Right. But so she didn't wait till after she fell. So that carrying that, this is what people to understand. And then I will also say this, the mind is fast, the body is slow.
Yeah.
Your body is very, very, Kim, I know you have children, right? Do you have children?
I do.
Great. So what do you do with children is over and over and over and over and over again.
Even in their 30s.
School starts at 8. Be on the bus. That's over and over and over again. Now, see, look how it happens. What we have now with modern people is something that I'm just going to call emotional states. I want to be happy. I have a lot of students come, how do I use yoga to make me happy? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not, there's no such thing as that. You know, how do I use yoga? I want to be successful. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as that. So modern people, for some reason, believe in this amorphous state. That's just an emotional success, happiness, happiness and success come and go. Here's a mantra for your people listening to the podcast. This is a mantra that I give a lot of my students. I am shining like the sun. Clouds may come and go, but I am always shining. I am shining the sun. Clouds may come and go. I am always shining. I am shining the sun. Clouds may come and go. I am always shining. So this is a repeated, positive reinforcement mantra. It's not a classic Sanskrit mantra, but it's positive reinforcement. And what does that say to you? That happiness is just a come and go state. Sadness is coming. Success is, you could be great in your job and then you have a child that's struggling. Is that your fault? Are you successful as a parent? Everything's going good. And you could be a minister and people coming to your church is going down. But if you save one soul, you see what I mean? That's success. And now people want everything to be scalable. They want the business to be scalable.
Yes.
All of these terms coming in, which are like clouds that come and go. These things are not stable, right? So I'm going into a real deep dive. My other favorite subject is physics.
Okay.
The photons are not stable. Inside of the nucleus of an atom, inside the atom is a bunch of photons and they're just bouncing around and they disappear and they come back, which means that 10 times a day we disappear photonically and we are stable and come back as the same thing, which also takes a while for us to perceive. When we age, aging, I believe, is every 12 years. There's some signs of 12 years. So you're 1 and then you're 12 and then
24.
You're another kind of person. let's say a teenager, and you've had children, and it's true, they're a child, and then one day you're like, you're not an adult yet, but you're stabilizing into the you that's you. Then the next phase is 24. Well, we can all remember being 24, and you are not 12 anymore.
No.
Right.
There's another little funky phase there. Okay, next is 36.
36.
Now, probably at our age, we're like, yeah, like you're almost 40, and it could be around 40. Like there's something preceding 40 that feels funky. If you're not married yet, or if you are married, there's something around 36. If you're going to quit your job, maybe you quit the one little beginning job you got when you were 30, and you quit it and you got the better job somewhere around 36.
Yep.
And then that's stabilized. Yep. Until what's next? 48.
48. Yep.
And then I'm not old. But these kids running around, I like these kids and these teenagers.
Why the music so loud?
What?
They don't have to hum.
Right.
So there's this theory of 12 and aging. And so we can, after this podcast, and the people listening can go and ask yourselves about this theory of 12. And there's something fairly accurate about it.
You know, that's interesting you say that, because sometimes, see some older people, and either we're actors or what have you, and you see a more current picture of them, you'll say, ooh, they turned the corner. They're starting to get that next look. Specifically what you just said. Yeah. But you do see it. My husband is gone back. He used to go visit his mom. He hasn't seen her in a few years. So what his concern was, he remembered what she looked like the last time he saw her. When he comes back next week, it'll be very interesting to hear what that shift was, because last time he said, yeah, mom's starting to get that next look. So now, and she just turned 80. So it'll be very interesting to see exactly and she walks everywhere. She's very healthy. It's very interesting to see that. And talking about health and wellness, on one of the podcasts I talked about, I went to Japan in February. It was amazing. I didn't realize I didn't know how old everybody was, but that's where a lot of the centenarians are. And just the way things were, everybody, they had cars, they had traffic, the whole 9 yards, but I saw older people on bikes. I'm talking old school bikes that you had to pedal. Kids were on those bikes. People walked. They did everything. Portions of food were not like they are here. But again, it's the type of food they ate, because a lot of what we eat can't come into other countries. And you could tell the difference. I mean, we ate and we drank a lot, but we also were out. We walked around and everything. You didn't have that hangover. You didn't feel sick. You didn't feel, ugh. It was very interesting. So again, as you're talking, maybe because I want to go back to Japan, but every time when you're talking, I'm seeing things reminiscent of that. They definitely have a different outlook along the lines of what you just talked about.
And you look, America is European culture. Let's just put it this way. European culture is really messed up. They don't want longevity. So you're talking about a culture that has established monarchy that is only to be passed down within the one family, kings and queens, right?
Right.
The only longevity, the only person who should live longer is the king. And that king really does not want anyone else living longer than them. Now, in other cultures, there were kings, but one of the sign of the power of the king was the health of that was a sign of his kingdom, was how they care for people, the animals, the food, the crops, and prayers to God for the crop. They thought there is source energy, and we shall be returning to that source. That source energy has eternal life. I, as an individual, do not have eternal life. You can't maintain individuality eternally. So in yoga, they will say it's like this. You have an ocean with water in it, and you have an ocean wave, and the wave goes up, splash, psh, and one little sprinkle of water separates from the ocean. And for a moment, it is an individual ocean drop.
Right.
For a moment. And then goes back down into the ocean. Now, does that little ocean drop have eternal life? Not as an individual, no.
But collectively, yes. And thank you. That's our show. No,
I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you could see why now we have health issues.
Yes,
now, because we're praying for some mysterious salvation, and we're constantly spiritually, mentally, and physically in a grasping motion. Grasp for it. Pray for that pill. Grasping, as opposed to like, well, we're going to die. How would you like to die? Peacefully. Practice it now. Do you want arthritis? Look at your grandmother. Now, while it's true she had a fall and she can't be mobile now, her attitude about mobility is what's sustaining her. That attitude
absolutely
was a long time.
Yeah. It was.
And you can't do it for somebody else. All your positivity cannot, because I just felt like I'm pulling my hair out and I don't want to do that. But it's crazy. It's crazy because you know how you have the foresight to see what's going to happen down the road. And it's not that you're being psychic. It's not that you're being arrogant. It's just basic facts. And I'm saying to my parent that they would say to me when I was younger, I can't want it more than you, you
Right.
know?
I can't want, that's right. And really who I think we need to pay more attention to, if our parents are in a care facility, we actually need to pay more attention to the people taking care of them. You're going to start to read articles about how downtrodden and depressed, ill these people working in these facilities are, because they're caring for someone who doesn't want to care for themselves. And that, which is a misappropriation of energy, but they're doing it because God bless them, right? They're doing it, they're compassionate, they're caring, they're the Mother Teresa. And so when we go into these, the first thing we have to realize is that this person is working in really an unacceptable job, really. And a lot of mostly women, yes, take on this role and nurturers,
Caregivers.
which sounds lovely. Oh, you're a caregiver. Oh, you're a nurturer. But it's a misappropriation of that energy, because if you think about nurturing, a mother nurtures her children. Once it get past 6 or 7 children, gone. One child.
Hell, after it gets past the second one.
Yes.
That's
But
right.
see what I'm saying about energy? Nurturing can't go past the energy of the nurturer.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these workers are just like zombies. They need a job to get paid, and they have to cut off their emotion. So we owe it to them to practice wiping our booty now, to practice. There are people without legs. There are people, there's the girl without arms. She go wipe her own booty. She figured it out. She's on the internet. I don't have arms, and let me show you what I figured out today. Putting her own clothes on and baking in her kitchen. One of my dearest clients worked with the Obamas. She's a lawyer for the disabled. And she got to go to Fort Knox, and there's stuff on our money now. There's stuff that's all of her legal stuff. She worked with President Obama and the Clintons. Only because the Democrats are out, she doesn't have a job now, but she worked, and I would go to these conventions and things with people with disabilities. And I said to her one day, I said, aging is a disability. We just don't know it. And you would see people without arms and without legs and can't see, and they're figuring out their disability.
Yeah.
Aging is the only disability we don't take any time to figure out. We just get old and too bad for it. You have to think about it now.
I agree with that.
When you're 40.
So I kind of want to get a little bit off track. Not really, though. Again, like I said, I can listen to you all day. It's practical stuff that you're talking about, historical, but then you bring it up to today's standards. How many Black women do you actually encounter in your field? Because again, we're talking differences even down to BMI charts. And you're saying the chart for Black women or more hippier women, when they're making it seem like there's something wrong with you because you are more voluptuous. And I'm just like, in your field, you've made a name for yourself now, but you walk in there, you're going to do yoga, and you walk in as a Black woman. What is the reception like? Like, really? How do they know? They're surprised when we're doing ballet. They're surprised when we're doing hockey, even though hockey started with us to begin with. But how do they treat you when you walk through the room?
For me, because I studied ballet and opera, by the time I got to yoga, I didn't care. I'm a Black woman singing classical music. I can speak French and German. What? How do you do? So by the time I got to yoga, I didn't give up.
You had already been through it.
Whatever little vibe. And this is what I try to tell Black women. Yoga is for people. Yoga was made by Black and brown people in Africa and India. It was made by us, for us. FUBU, right?
Yeah.
So whatever little vibe you're catching at the local yoga center because you're the only Black woman, just you go and you learn. Now, I had teachers that would maybe look at my body and either not pay attention to me or say I had to suck it in or tuck it in. But see, I had already gone through all of that with ballet. So what I did was I got myself a teacher who was Black. And this I will also say on the podcast. I'm here, Black women. I'm here in the internet. I'm here. Come find me.
Yeah, I've told people about your channel.
I'm slapping myself because I haven't gone.
Come find me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you just want to have a conversation about this, even if you just want to talk, you say, I'm wherever you are. I'm in Delaware. It doesn't matter. I went to a yoga center and this is what they told me. We can just talk about it. But I want to get you to yoga where you are. I want to get you to a yoga studio. I don't even care if you follow a white woman on YouTube. I want you to know what she's doing. I want you to go, oh, okay, so she's doing this. I don't care if she's skinny, blonde, whatever. She is doing yoga. And that's the part we need to pay attention to. Okay, so that's it. Now, the other thing is I am not voluptuous. I'm a string bean. So I actually struggle to attract Black women to me. Isn't that the twist?
Right.
So
like, she don't look like me.
So there's a Black woman who wrote a book and she's voluptuous and large. If I wrote the same book, it would not sell. Her book sold. She's phenomenally well known. Almost like a, what's the
I see her
singer?
on IG.
Yeah, what's the singer? Hair straight down my
Oh,
nail.
Lizzo?
Yeah.
So Lizzo is losing weight.
Yes.
I heard that.
Right. And so now, culturally, as an artist, people are torn about her now. I really liked her.
They
'Cause she was a
demonizing
big
her.
girl talking about being sassy in boots, and big girl
Yep.
talking about, and now how's she going to go and lose weight and get all sexy? She has abandoned me. This is what I
Right.
want to say. Your health. Lizzo is getting healthy. Thank you. I'm glad that she is. She is an incredible artist. She's an incredible music writer. She's an incredible poet. And she can continue doing that, and she should. And if you were listening to her music and following her just because she was voluptuous and large, then that's shame on you. Because then you weren't
Correct.
really listening to the music, which is great.
Right.
Her songs are great. That's okay. And if we use the word voluptuous, that is different than being obese and overweight. I think that's another thing Black women need to, we need to come on, huddle up in here, okay,
Yes.
and sit. Are you obese?
Are you
You asking
obese?
us?
We need to come together as a family of Black women and say, am I
Yes.
obese? Am I voluptuous? You can be thin and have a fatty liver, right?
Yep.
We need to understand what obese is so you can have a higher fat ratio. I can have a higher fat ratio. So we really need the words that we use. We were
Exactly.
saying voluptuous, but I would prefer that we be more, we're talking about ourselves, that we more talk about ourselves, that we don't
Mhm.
use words like, well, I'm a voluptuous girl, you know. What do you mean? I don't know. What does that mean?
What
You
does
know,
that
Right.
mean?
you can
Define
say, you
voluptuous.
see what I mean? I would just say as we get together as Black women, that we don't, let us not use one word. Let's have more words. And if you are not healthy, if you are obese, you need to actually use that word and say, I am on a journey away from obesity. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I know. I was
And
300
Wendy,
pounds at one
sometimes
point.
going up mine.
Yes.
you have had an obesity journey,
Yes. I had an
right?
obesity journey.
Right.
We didn't even recognize. I hadn't seen Eve for years because after I stopped going to that same church, I didn't see her. And I remember we were at the grocery store, and she recognized us, and I didn't recognize who she was. And she's hi, and she's packing her bags, and we're like, "Hi, Aaron, who was that?" I go, "I don't know." And then we realized that, oh my God, yeah, now we know who she
Yep.
was, but I did not know it.
We don't even know ourselves, and we're using words that other people have given us. We don't know culturally. Do I have to have my fingernails done? What if my feet are skanky? We don't really know. How is my hair? Braids, locks, bald? What are we doing? Look at what happened with the Oscars with Chris Rock. He got punched in the face, made a comment
Oh, Jada?
about her hair, and said,
Right.
see, we've all forgotten what he said. Do you remember
Right.
what he said?
No.
He said
I
something,
can't.
oh, your wife has joined the Green Beret, or no, it was G.I. Jane.
Oh,
G.I.
G.I.
Jane.
Jane.
Right. G.I. Jane with the buzz cut.
Yeah.
That sparked everything. And I have alopecia. So he should be knowing. My feeling about it, he should be, how is he a Black man and not know that, no, you don't mention this.
And you
The
don't touch
crown.
it too. I'm just saying, you don't touch it either.
Right.
And you're talking about how we have to carry ourselves, and even with my hair, if I'm going, and I've never had the problem, but I don't, as you're saying, I want to make sure I don't have the problem. I practice dying, that kind of thing. When I go, I might have my jean jacket on, my hair is inside my jacket, or I have it, if I have it down, I'll have it all to one side.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that little sneak attack feel, or somebody just come right up and just feel that they have permission that was not given to them.
Right.
Oh, I like this. What is this?
Right.
Yeah. And we talked about this a long time ago, why Black women don't exercise. And the main reason is hair. It's hair.
Yeah. And
Well,
that was
yeah,
what it was
they
said.
don't swim either. And I love to swim, but they will not swim because, oh,
Same
my
thing.
hair. But I'm like,
Mhm.
there are swim caps, but oh, you can't look cute.
I got a
while
swim
you're
cap for my
swimming.
locks, by the way.
Right.
You can get that. But then
You
if you,
get it.
if you look at African women, there's actually a problem in Africa that they don't, the Africans themselves aren't swimming. There's the ocean and then there's Africa, and they just, the swimming is not part really of their culture. So the thing I would say about the locks and the braids and everything, if you are in a hot, arid place, this is what you would do with your hair. And the you're sweating, but it's arid, so it's not humidity. It's not humidity.
Right.
And so the sweat is just moving through these locks and braids, and it's just moving, and your scalp is feeling so good, everything just moving through that. So you're taking African Americans and transplanting them now, right? And then you see the old timey pictures with the scarf. So there was a lot of bonneting, but white women did that too. See, so poor white women would scarf up and bonnet up. Okay, so then the question is, look at what Prince did when he did the Super Bowl. Do you remember what Prince did when he did the Super Bowl? He came on the stage with a scarf on his head. He came in with he had a little purple scarf.
Yep.
He brought that as a cultural statement. Why can I not walk out of my house with a scarf on my head? Why can't a black woman can't put her bonnet on? I can't put something to keep my hair where I need it to stay. Somehow that's poor culture.
Yeah.
Get out
Yeah.
of it.
That's a good way. That's
Yeah.
a good way.
Maybe there's a place where black women can get together and talk about these things. And yes, I would bring the yoga. I would bring the yoga because yoga is ours. Yoga is absolutely yoginis. The history of the yoginis, there are a lot of people say historically now say that it was women who actually created yoga, and they would go in the forest and practice many things, and that the men would secretly go and watch them, and then the men went and wrote it down, and then turned around and said women couldn't practice it, and then all
Oh,
the
wow.
yogini, and then all the you can go and see all the yogini temples were
Mhm.
abandoned. They were abandoned, and then the men said, "Oh, the women are practicing witchcraft," and the men had all the books. So the men took everything, wrote it down, wrote it in these books, and said, "Well, we have the
Mhm.
books. If you're practicing it without the books, that's witchcraft or something." And all the yogini temples were abandoned, and for a long time they said that women could not practice, or at least could not teach it, could not teach yoga.
That's just like
And
all those
so,
books are in the Vatican. Same thing.
yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm learning.
hopefully listeners will think differently about yoga and embrace it. And
Well, I've learned a lot today. I
I
mean,
know.
just like I told you, we just have casual conversation and you just see how it
My
manifests and
mind's
where it
blown.
goes and go from there.
My
yeah,
mind is
it,
blown.
in my practice, I've had a lot of students, thousands and the thousands. I've been doing this for 30 years. So I've looked at a lot of human bodies. And now I'm looking at bodies that I've known. I have students, I've known them for 20, 25 years. So not only do I see myself changing, but I see various changes. And a lot of them are coming to me now, like him, with the stand up and put your socks on and saying, I am so glad you taught me that 20 years ago.
I have this question.
Uh-huh.
What would you recommend for a person? Let's just say, because we were talking about us melanated people,
Yes.
melanated 50-something-year-old
Yeah.
woman, never thought about yoga, never thought about stretching. What would be your recommendation for them to start?
Yeah. The first thing is just get down on the floor. So wherever you are in your home, if you have hardwood floors or some kind of situation you don't want to go down on the floor, then you get a
Mhm.
mat or a small carpet or something. It could
Mhm.
be out your patio, it doesn't matter. You have to come down to the floor. You have to go from standing down to all fours and then stand back up. When we do sun salutes, our arms overhead, inhale, exhale, forward, fold, hands on the floor. Step back, plank, push up. So already the third move is down on the floor. Push up, upward dog, downward dog. Your hands are on the floor, your feet on the floor. Then you have to step or jump up or get into a position so you can stand back up again. So a sun salute is just up, down, up, down, up. You don't have to do
No.
yoga sun salutes. All you got to do is stand in your home and come down on the floor, stand back up. Do that 10 times. That will change your life. That alone will change your life. Stroke victims have to crawl first. Crawling is the first human thing. Crawling all fours. So if you look at anybody, you can go to your family and you go to your husband, go to people that you know and say, can you get down on the floor? And I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to go, why?
Exactly. Yes.
And
They're going to
that's
say
where
that.
the
They're going to
problems
say
will start.
why.
Why?
Or they'll be
Well,
like,
I want to
oh,
see.
why?
Yeah. Like my father's 90, he can't do it anymore. He can't come down
Yeah.
on his knees.
Yeah.
He can't even bend over to pick anything up. So I would start there. And the next place I would start is, honestly, I love YouTube. But I love about YouTube is you don't put yoga in. Put breathing health, yoga for breath, yoga for the
Oh,
morning,
okay. Okay.
yoga for stretching, yoga for some kind of problem that you're having. You know what I mean? And then whoever pops up first, you know how YouTube works, is a handful
Right.
of things will pop up.
Yeah.
Right.
The
So
algorithms.
there's the first person, and then watch a few of theirs, and there's the second person, and watch enough people for you to find the person that you like. I think that's the mistake people make. They go, "Oh, I don't that person." Well, watch 3, 5, or 6 of their YouTubes anyway, and then go to the next person. Don't just trash the first video and move on. So put in yoga for knees, yoga for emotion, yoga for
Okay.
anxiety, right? So that's the next thing I would tell people. And then the third thing I would tell people is find a friend. Just like we would say in weight loss or alcoholism, try to find somebody who you will do it with and hold each other accountable. So those are 3 things I would tell that person.
There's just been, and again, we keep saying before, there's just been a lot that we've talked about and just learned about. Like I said, I don't know, obviously, a smidgen of what you've done. And
Yep.
I can't say enough just by the conversation. I just really am, and not to be a kiss ass, but really honored to have you on the show. No, I mean it, because just listening to some of the stuff that you've talked about has just really been eye opening. Stuff I might have heard pieces here, pieces there, but it definitely, I'm sure it's going to help at least one person. Not just saying about me, just somebody else.
Listen,
what
you all are doing this podcast, right? And you've been doing this podcast, and you put it together, all the technical.
Okay.
My husband has a podcast as well. I have a YouTube channel and some other things. Retreat in Italy, and that just sounds like a vacation to Bali. That just sounds like a vacation. Fitness and Pilates with that. A lot of my monthly people, I'll see them 3 times a week. One of those times will be fitness, one of those times will be yoga, and one of those times will be core Pilates, and I can mix it up. I did a lot of post-COVID people who were really ill. I do some Tai Chi and Qigong and some of the Asian arts as well. I can teach self-massage, meditation, all of this online. I really like online training because it's very efficient.
Well, we're going to get all of this from Yogi Cecily, and it's going to be attached in the description, so you guys can click on all of this.
I love
Miss
you all. You
KayCee?
all are beautiful.
Thank you.
I
So
really-
are
And
you.
likewise, come on now.
Right.
We're all together here.
I have learned so much, and I'm like, we could go longer. Many questions.
Which you know what that means? You know what that
Right.
means, E?
Right.
You're gonna have to come back.
Right.
Yeah, and then we
There's
just do
so
more
many
specifics.
questions.
We just do
Yeah.
more specifics.
Yes.
We could even do some exercises
Aw.
in the
That would-
podcast.
look
We
at
could
her
do a
face.
breathing pranayama. We could do the
See?
breathing pranayamas and see how it goes.
Oh, okay, well.
Yes, we have to have Yogi Cecily back. You guys, this was wonderful. This was amazing. Thank you so much. KayCee,
Thank
is there
you.
anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, we want you back. We want you to come back.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is a good time. So now that we have Saturday, not Sunday, this is a good time. If I'm not doing a workshop in the city, I'm totally available on Saturdays at this time. So you just get me because I don't put clients in this time. Now I'm going to go out in the garden and have a mama's drink.
All right.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
follow you with that one. So, but
Right.
again, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed it. Learned a lot, as always.
Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we love all our listeners. You can see this on YouTube if you want to see us live. If you want to see beautiful Yogi Cecily's face, our face.
To my students who will be following this, my
Yeah.
students, you are to continue following. Let me get closer. To my students, you are to continue following these 2 ladies. Not just because, please continue
Thank
following.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We would welcome them to the Disrupt and Discuss podcast for sure. Drop us a comment below if you are a part of the Yogi Cecily's community. We would love to welcome you to our community. Love it. So again, you guys, we will talk to you and see you on the next one. Until then,